Welcome to Winter Golf in the Northeast. We are here at the beautiful Philadelphia Cricket Club, and it is 35 degrees and blowing 20 with gusts of 40. Now, I've already had to pick my camera up off the ground 3 times, and I'm hoping I don't have to do it again, but this makes for the perfect weather for learning how to hit knockdown shots. Let's go. Everything forward. We're going to hinge it, and we're going to stop it low. First thing we need to do is evaluate, number one, where is the wind coming from? Is it with us or is it against us? So for purposes today, we're going to talk about both. And when you are playing in conditions like we currently have, the wind is dead in our face. We are hitting into a very stiff breeze. And what we're going to do is we're going to do some simple golf math. Now, I'm going to call it golf math because we have to do some, evaluating of numbers in our head. Now, typically, I have a target out there that's about 150 yards. Now, normally I would hit my 9-iron to that target on a non-breezy day. But when the wind is directly into my face, you're going to get about a 1-yard loss of distance for every 1 mile an hour of wind that you have. So if I've got 150 yards, this shot is going to play like 170 yards based on the 20 mile an hour of wind that I currently have directly coming at me. Now, conversely, you would think, hey, if I've got a 150-yard shot and the wind is with me, would I still get that same 20 extra yards of distance? Well, not really. So my good rule of thumb is for shots that you play with the wind, you're going to get about a half yard of distance for every mile an hour of wind that you have. Now, yes, that might change based on how high you flight the ball with the wind, but a good rule of thumb is you're going to get about a half yard of distance for every mile an hour you are with the wind. So if you have a 150-yard shot with 20 mile an hour wind with us, you're only really going to get 10 extra yards of distance, which means you can hit that 140 club to hit the golf ball 150. So now that you've made a well-informed decision on how far the golf ball physically needs to travel, how do we set up to hit a knockdown shot that can pierce through the wind and get to the actual location we're trying to hit the golf ball? So these are the basic setup fundamentals of how to hit a knockdown shot. Now, number one, what we're going to do is, traditionally speaking, we would normally have the ball for this 7-iron somewhere in the middle of our stance. What I'm recommending is we're going to take that ball and we're going to roll it back, probably about 2, maybe even 3 golf balls backwards in my stance, so closer to my right foot. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to choke down on the golf club. I want to make sure I've got a little bit of space here at the very end of the club so I have more control over the club when I go to swing it. When you have this kind of wind, you want the most amount of control. You might take a backswing and you might lose your balance a little bit. If anything, I need you in total control of that golf club when you go to swing and hit the golf ball. Lastly, this is the thing most people don't understand, is when we move the golf ball further back in our stance, it tends to lead to golf swings that are incrementally more from the inside. So the further back I go with my golf ball, the more in to out most players tend to hit the golf ball. So what do you see of players that go more in to out? You see more curvature. You see more right to left curvature of golf balls. So I don't want to be the guy that sets up to the ball, aims nice and straight, puts the ball back in his stance, and then just hits a low running duck hook, because that's not going to be any good for me. I want to make sure when I set up to the ball's back in my stance, I'm choked down, and then lastly, I drop my front foot back incrementally. That'll shift the path back to neutral. That is going to help you create low trajectory shots that go straight with minimal amounts of curve. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, now that I know how to set up to the golf ball properly, this should just work automatically, right? Well, unfortunately not. So what you're going to have to do is, after you set up to that golf ball, you've got 3 things to think about. Very simple things. You're going to set up and you're going to put a little bit of weight on your front foot. Now, when you do that, it's going to keep you from moving backwards and trying to pick the golf ball up into the air. So you're going to start with some weight on your front foot and you're going to keep it there. That's number one. Number two, when you go to hit this golf ball from the proper setup position, you're going to make sure you make a full hinge of that left wrist or the lead wrist. I want to see that club get hinged rather quickly. It's going to help us create a sharper angle into the golf ball. And number three, you're going to make sure when you hit this golf ball, you're going to hit it hard, but most importantly, stop as quickly as you can. And it's going to look a little something like this. Here we go. Weight forward, full hinge, stop quickly. Now, what you're going to notice is most golfers that make a big swing and finish all the way up here do what? They move backwards and they hit the ball high. They add loft. That's a big no-no for this scenario, right? So we're going to keep everything forward. We're going to hinge it, and we're going to stop it lower. What you're actually doing is you're bringing the dynamic loft of the club down so you can hit that piercing little stinger that we all like to see that looks so darn cool. So if you're playing in the wind and it's blowing 40 miles an hour like it is today, do yourself a favor. Set up properly, put the ball back, choke down, weight forward. And then most importantly, hinge the club, hit it hard, and stop. If you accomplish that and you can do all those tasks, you're going to be an expert at playing in the wind. It's going to be really simple for you.